All right, we are now recording. Um, Good morning, everyone, or good day, wherever you might be. Um, I am Art Ware, and Ron Hunt is on with us as well. He's my partner. And we're talking today and very honored to have Dr. Florian Baumann, who is on with us from what town are you in, Dr. Baumann?
Um, I'm living in south of Germany. The city is called Ravensburg.
Sport. So welcome to America virtually, Dr. Bowman. So I'm just going to read a little bit about his background. Today's session, and the reason why we have Dr. Bowman on is we want to explore artificial intelligence, machine learning. Many of us have heard of Watson, IBM Watson. Well, machine learning has become a thing. And it's an emerging um, um, resource and technology that we are going to have to get used to because there's all kind of potential there. So artificial intelligence, machine learning, and Dr. Bowman's area of expertise is largely in the driverless or what we call autonomous vehicle technology. So I'm going to read his background and try not to editorialize too much. So Dr. Florian Baumann is the Chief Technology Officer for Unstructured Data Solutions. So we're talking about solutions here. And by and large, we are targeting our public officials. We're targeting our municipal organization, and particularly those organizations, those people within organizations that are not the CIO, not the CTO, ones that have to do the budgets, ones that have to plan for timeline of implementation and funding, and those are the folks that we are targeting here in the municipal public policy space. So we're trying to keep it so that everybody understands what we're talking about and we don't get too technical. So he specializes in automotive and artificial intelligence. His role at Dell is to support customers in deploying end-to-end solutions for developing advanced driver assisted systems. Another term we got to get used to. It's not an if, well, maybe nope. This is a when. And we're talking about solutions. We're talking to Dell in this case, but there are other solutions out there. But we're very fortunate to have Dr. Bowman here to help us break this down and understand what those solutions are and how we ought to be thinking about them and what strategies we need to be deploying in order to implement them. So that's another point that we're trying to do here, Ron and I. So end-to-end solutions for developing advanced driver-assisted systems, driver self-driving cars through deep learning, another term we got to get used to, deep learning, and AI. Florian joined Dell in 2019, having served previously as technical director at ADASENSA. What is that company?
It's an automotive company
Okay,
developing ADAS functionalities.
ADA. Okay, where he got it, ADAS.
ADASense, maybe? Yeah.
Product development and workflow from scratch. So you were the pioneer for that company, as you are here at Dell. Florian is an industry recognized expert for ADAS and AI, having published more than 20 studies on subjects such as human action recognition and object tracking. A lot of that has to do with GPS and things that people use. Google Maps, they get people from point A to point B. That's what we're talking about. He is also a frequent speaker at industry conferences on topics ranging from connected vehicles to predictive maintenance. Another thing that we got to start to understand and leverage predictive maintenance, meaning that with artificial intelligence, we can tell before something breaks down. That gets you up into the 99% range in terms of operations and so forth, because you can do predictive maintenance and fix it before it breaks. Artificial intelligence allows you to be able to do that. He takes pride in being highly technically focused, efficient, and goal-oriented in his professional philosophy, with a self-confessed addiction to machine learning for more than 10 years, which is an ancient amount of time, because this is a very new and emerging field. Florian obtained his PhD in machine learning applied to scene understanding in 2015 from Leoben University at Hanover. Prior to that, he received a master's degree in electrical engineering with a focus on computer engineering from the same university. So today our focus is on driverless vehicle technology, or more technical term is autonomous vehicle technology. Ron, anything that you want to say in connection with what I've just read, or anything that comes to mind? I want you to participate here as much as I do, because you're extremely adept.
We're honored to have Dr. Baumann with us here today, because he's going to translate engineer into English for you, because the perception of autonomous vehicles and the reality of it is two completely different things, and we're going to dive into that pretty quickly in the discussion. So welcome, Dr. Baumann.
Thank you very much.
So, Dr. Baumann, I guess the obvious question is, what is autonomous vehicle technology? You know, I know, for instance, crypto, you deal with Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin works because digital ledger technology allows it to work, and the security features behind it. So kind of break down, this autonomous driverless vehicle technology in kind of that way.
So I would say autonomous vehicles technology is more the so-called horizontal, and it includes many vertical solutions, such as algorithms focused on machine learning, algorithms focused on computer vision, algorithms focused on artificial intelligence, then centralized compute units and actuators, and a bunch of more technologies under the hood. So you will be able to drive a self-driving vehicle in a couple of years. And these vehicles got developed by using multiple different technologies. And it's a bit similar to the blockchain example that you gave.
Mm-hmm.
So blockchain is just the horizontal. I'm
Mm-hmm.
calling it the buzzword, but includes many different technologies. A blockchain could also be based on artificial intelligence, or on a ledger technology, or on something else. And this is the parallel to the example that you gave.
Gotcha.
Excellent. One of the great things about the communication capabilities of the vehicles you're developing is, for example, in pedestrian safety, because
Exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think this is a key concern of every government official and the populace. What I believe, I've got statistics in front of me that 2 people have been unfortunately killed by autonomous vehicles. But to give you an example, in 2019, 6,000 people in America were killed by drivered vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a perception issue. But the autonomous car can actually get signals from traffic lights before they change and slow down automatically. I'm wondering if we can also use that 5G technology to maybe ping people's cell phones if they're distracted and walking into traffic.
Definitely. So the self-driving vehicle will have a computer and some control electronics. So this will be a data center on wheels. And then, of course, we have different perception sensors like cameras equivalent to the eyes. We will have a laser scanner, and we will have a radar, maybe equivalent to ears and the computer and control electronics equivalent to the brain. And of course, the self-driving vehicle will also have a communication ECU. ECU stands for electrical control unit. And this is then connected to the smart city itself through 5G, for example. And this is a great example that you gave to enable the vehicle to communicate with the city's infrastructure.
Love that. And then the question, of course, becomes who owns that data?
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is an interesting question. I guess it's not yet really clarified. I was talking to some cities who are proactively investing into the city's infrastructure in order to monetize the data and to get a return of investment from the investments that they took. This is possible. And my take is that maybe in a couple of years, a whole marketplace of different data sets will come up, and that you could sell your data, and also in that you could purchase data. For example, during the operation of the vehicle on the street. Let me give you an example. You're in the vehicle in a big city, and you want to find a parking slot to do a shopping tour. And you could send out a request to get the availability of parking slots in the nearby parking garages. And you are, well, I guess we had this last time also, and then you are paying $5 to $6 per hour, and the city itself could monetize the data and could get a small commission.
That's exactly a great way for these cities to start thinking about how to pay for these projects.
Absolutely.
You also, I also, you're a fan of dedicated lanes for autonomous cars, but
Yeah.
this is coming along very slowly. I saw China has a highway, and in the United States, only Michigan is going to dedicate a section of highway for this, right? So, do you think that this is a issue that's still in debate, or we're just behind the curve?
I guess this will be needed, and this will be absolutely mandatory to get dedicated road lanes for self-driving vehicles. In big cities, we do already have dedicated road lanes for taxis and buses, for example, for the whole public transportation sector, like if I clearly remember in Barcelona in Spain. And I guess this will come up very soon. In Germany, for example, we also have some highways made for the operation of self-driving vehicles, but during the development, they are not yet productive. So if a company is out there to test and validate their system, they could use this dedicated highway for these processes.
Art, you had some questions.
Yeah. Dr. Baumann, from a public policy, leadership perspective, can you talk about the interface with regard to, okay, Dr. Baumann and Dell are, I'm inviting them to my town. I need to get my town ready, to be able to broadcast this technology or have this technology available. What kind of infrastructure additions or infrastructure improvements would make a town attractive, for you to come and put your sensors and to put your technology so that driverless vehicles, when they get to my town, won't have a problem?
So Dell is the biggest infrastructure provider of the world. So our goal is to provide the underlying hardware stack. This could be storage, network, and compute. So we are, for example, not offering any sensors like cameras or laser scanners. Our goal is always to support our customers in offering the underlying hardware stack to enable them to build up this use case, for example. And at Dell, we have a team of experts and subject matter subject matter experts focusing on smart cities. So they are talking on daily basis to cities and governments in order to talk about a possible architecture and the strategy to build up small edge devices and small edge data centers in the city itself. This could be, for example, a small ruggedized server that the city is deploying nearby of a conjunction, or a small edge device in a traffic light or in a traffic sign, as we've talked about the use case that the vehicle knows the traffic light before it arrives there. And this could also be the whole infrastructure in the city's data center. So large scale compute and storage solutions in order to store the data from the traffic signs and traffic lights and conjunctions and connected highways, and to extract information characteristics out of the data, and then to monetize the data. So for example, to create a microservice architecture, and that the city could deploy some Docker containers and offer this data in the city's own marketplace to the driver itself, or of course to the automotive manufacturers. And this is our daily job, to talk to cities and automotive manufacturers and suppliers in order to create a future-proof strategy and architecture to prepare for these new emerging workloads.
Now, you mentioned,
go ahead, Art.
You mentioned something that I want to talk about, particularly, you know, in this emerging technology, ever-changing digital technology, where we're being, you know, much more digitized, and that's edge computing. Can you talk about that, and then maybe, you know, lead into discussions about what everybody's been hearing about, the whole 5G, and how those two, you know, technologies aid this process?
So 5G is a great technology, especially for self-driving vehicles and smart cities, because of the high throughput that you could achieve, and also because of the low latency that 5G provides us. So you can for example, apply some real-time analytics to the data. I don't have the latency in mind, but it's something around milliseconds, if I clearly remember. This will be a game changer and a huge enabler, especially in the automotive industry, to connect vehicles with the city, and also to set up private networks in the cities itself, or for example, in the automotive manufacturers' production of vehicles.
Okay.
Exactly. To circle back to the lanes that are dedicated, it's as we transition to more of these vehicles, we will actually need less total cars, because people can just call a car on their app on their cell phone. And if they're, you know, it'll just, you don't need to have a car sitting in your driveway 100% of the time anymore. It's really very, very interesting how this transition is going to occur. And I want people, municipalities, to understand that the short-term complaints they're going to get from the gas vehicles that are still on the road will dissipate.
Yeah. Agreed.
And the second thing was German drivers and American drivers, and I'm sure all around the world, do not like to obey speed limits.
Yes, I know.
What is the current projection? Are these cars going to drive exactly at the speed limit? Are they going to drive the quote 5 miles an hour over that everyone drives, or are they going to adjust to the speed of traffic with all these sensors?
This is a good question. So at least what I see in Europe is that automotive manufacturers are having a max speed limit in the vehicle itself. So you cannot drive faster than 180 kilometers per hour, or not faster than 100 miles by standard. That's amazing, right? Volvo announced it last year, and there was another company, Renault Nissan. It's publicly available. You can read it in the newspaper. They also decided to go for a maximum speed of each Renault Nissan by 180 kilometers per hour, something like this. That's amazing.
This seems prudent,
Mhm.
but extremely fast. Can you imagine if everybody had one of these autonomous vehicles right now? How many fewer accidents we would have? How much quicker we would get everywhere? How much less pollution we would have because the traffic lights and the vehicles could understand each other and facilitate all those things. We're coming right up on 25 minutes, Art, if that's, yeah, and I want to respect Dr. Baumann's time.
Absolutely. You know, I'm trying to think if I had any additional question. And I'm also trying to think if we need any clarification
No problem. Yeah.
that we've said. I mean, I think we've made it, you know, as
Yeah, you like it? Was it okay for you?
It was
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
A friend of mine said we put it where the goats could get it, meaning that we made it simple and we tried to keep it plain because those are the kind of folks that we're targeting here, you know, especially on the public policy side. Ron, you know, why don't we bring it to a close? And Dr. Baumann, let me just let people know who we've been talking to. We've been talking for the last half hour or so to Dr. Florian Baumann. He joined Dell in Dell. I'm talking, most of us know Dell Computers. They now call themselves, as they have evolved and expanded services, they call themselves now Dell Technologies. He joined Dell in 2019 as Chief Technology Officer for Unstructured Data Solution. He brings, as we have heard this morning, he brings industry recognized expertise in the automotive and artificial intelligence to the position and is a regular speaker. So any of you out there that's listening to this and want to reach out to Dr. Baumann, Dr. Baumann, why don't you give them your email or whatever how you want them to reach out to you?
By mail is perfectly fine. So my email is florian.baumann@dell.com, or you can simply reach out to me through LinkedIn, the social business network, and send out a message directly or send me a contact request. I'm happy to support you to talk about infrastructure deployments focusing the automotive industry in general, for example, on the operations of self-driving vehicles, or also to talk about smart city architectures in order to prepare for the future. Thank you very much, Art and
You're very
Ron,
welcome.
for having me speaking in front of you guys. It's always a pleasure and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
We will
enjoyed
be,
it very
we will
well.
be in touch.
We'll certainly be in
Yes,
touch. Take care, and we'll talk soon.
take care. And Art, send out the request around the healthcare example, and I will share it internally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very well. I'll take care of that here in just a few moments.
Thank you
We're
very much.
honored.
Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.